The year was 3167. Earth was silent. Not destroyed, just forgotten. After the Great Galactic Treaty, most alien species stopped talking about humans. Some believed they vanished. Others said humans were too violent, too wild to survive the peace. And so the name human became a warning. A legend. Far away in the Zyrian cluster on a floating research station, a young alien girl named Lyra walked through the halls, carrying data crystals to her mentor. She was small, with blue skin, white eyes, and thin markings across her forehead, symbols of her caste. She was quiet, curious, and had never seen a real human before. Only old, distorted images. One day, as she turned a corner in the corridor, she bumped into someone, a tall figure. Her eyes looked up and locked onto a face she didn't recognize. But her blood knew, skin like stone, eyes sharp and alive, standing casually, hands raised as if trying not to scare her. "Sorry," the man said softly. "Can I ask you something?" But before he could finish, Lyra screamed, "A human! A human!" The sound echoed through the metal walls like an alarm. Doors opened. Alarms didn't, but they should have. Lyra dropped the crystals and ran. Her heart pounded, her chest burned, and behind her, the human stood confused, alone. His name was Dax. He had no weapons, no orders, just questions. He had come in peace, but now the entire station believed a monster had arrived. Lyra's scream triggered an immediate response. Within seconds, security bots rolled into the corridor, armed, blinking, fast. Lights flashed red as voices echoed from speakers. Threat detected. Biological anomaly. Confirmed species. Human. Dax didn't move. He raised his hand slowly. "I'm not here to hurt anyone," he said calmly. The bots aimed at him anyway. Farther down the hall, Lyra stood with her back against the wall, panting. Her eyes were wide with fear, but not just fear. It was something more, something ancient. Something she had been taught since she was a child. Humans are dangerous. Do not approach. Do not speak. But why? Dax looked around and sighed. "Really, didn't think it would go like this," he whispered. Two alien officers, tall and silver-skinned, stepped out of the elevator, their eyes locked on Dax. "Human male," one said, scanning him. "How did you get aboard Zyrian station?" Dax shrugged. "I asked permission, your port officer gave it." "That's impossible," the other replied. "No one from Earth has passed clearance in over 200 years. "I'm not from Earth," Dax said. "I was born on Mars Outpost 12. The officers looked at each other. Meanwhile, Lyra slowly stepped back into view. She didn't speak, but her mind was racing. He didn't attack, he didn't yell, he didn't even follow me. That wasn't what she expected. And then Dax turned toward her. Their eyes met. He smiled kindly. Lyra's chest tightened. Not in fear, but in confusion. Why did he seem more curious than cruel? Dax sat alone in a small metal room with one blinking light above. The walls were cold. The chair under him was harder than stone. He had been waiting for over an hour. No one spoke to him. No one offered him food or water. He sighed, tapping his fingers on the table. "They treat me like I'm a bomb," he muttered. Then the door hissed open. Two Zyrian officials walked in, same silver skin, same tall build. Behind them was Lyra. She stood silently, arms crossed, looking away from Dax. One officer spoke first. "Human, state your purpose." Dax didn't flinch. "I'm part of a peace mission. I was sent to ask for help. Earth colonies are low, on medicine. Peace?" the other officer repeated. "Your kind doesn't understand peace." Lyra's eyes flicked toward Dax again. Something about his voice. It didn't match the stories. He was calm, polite, kind. She expected shouting, violence, threats, but he only looked tired and honest. "Let me speak with her," Dax said, nodding toward Lyra. "Just her." Both officers looked surprised, but Lyra spoke softly. It's okay. I'll talk to him. They left the room. Now it was just Dax, and the alien girl who once screamed at the sight of him. She sat across from him, nervous. He smiled gently. I'm sorry I scared you. You didn't, she whispered. I was scared, but now I'm confused. Dax leaned forward. What were you told about humans? She answered with only one word. Everything. Lyra's voice was soft, but her words were heavy. Everything, she said again. We were told humans are violent, greedy, dangerous, that you burn planets and leave nothing behind. Dax leaned back, trying not to look hurt. That's not all true. But some of it is, she asked. He looked at her honestly. Yes, some humans have done terrible things, but not all of us, just like not all Zyrians are perfect, right? Lyra stayed quiet. She didn't know what to believe anymore. Dax pulled something out of his pocket, a small, worn-out photo. He placed it gently on the table. My sister, he said. She's sick. We don't have the medicine on Earth, but we heard Zyrians do. Lyra looked at the photo, a little girl with a bright smile holding a teddy bear. She looks innocent, Lyra whispered. She is, Dax replied. And she's running out of time. Lyra blinked hard. She had never seen a human child before. Her heart felt strange, heavy. They told us you were monsters, she said again. But monsters don't cry for their sisters. Dax's voice cracked. I didn't come here to fight. I came here to beg. Lyra stood up slowly. She walked to the door, then paused. I'll try to help you, she said without turning. But if the council finds out I'm talking to you, I could be exiled. Stood too. Then let's keep it a secret. For the first time, she smiled. Lyra led Dax through the hidden tunnels under the city. They moved quietly, past ancient walls carved with glowing runes, symbols of the old Zyrian ways. This place is forgotten, she whispered. Even the council doesn't come here anymore. Why bring me here? Dax asked. Because the one who can help you lives in hiding, a healer who was banished for saving a human long ago. Dax's eyes widened. Wait, there were others? Yes, she said, but the council erased their names, said they were traitors. They reached a narrow door covered in vines. Lyra pressed her hand against it. A soft blue light blinked. Then the door opened with a hiss. Inside was a small room glowing with soft light. Jars of herbs, alien tools, and strange floating crystals lined the walls. In the center stood an old Zyrian woman with glowing eyes. She turned and frowned. Lyra, you brought a human here? Lyra bowed her head. He needs help. Please, Mother Shy. Look at his heart, not his face. Mother Shay walked slowly to Dax. She studied him. You are not what I expected, she said. I hear that a lot, Dax muttered. She touched his chest. For a moment her eyes glowed brighter. Then she stepped back. You speak the truth. You carry a burden and a promise. Can you help my sister? Dax asked. Mother Shay nodded slowly. Yes, but the price and will be heavy. Dax didn't flinch. Tell me. Lyra's breath caught. Things were about to change forever. Mother Shay moved toward the glowing crystal in the center of the room. It hovered, spinning slowly, as if alive. To heal your sister? She said softly. I need something more than medicine. Dax's voice was firm. What do you need? She looked up at him. Your memory. Dax blinked. What? The memories of your pain, your battles, even your love for your sister. I must take them, just for a while. Her healing must come from pure energy, untouched by grief. He hesitated. Lyra whispered, she won't erase them, just borrow them. It's part of the Zyrian soul exchange. Dax clenched his fists. And if I say yes? She will live, Mother Shay said, but you will feel lost, like a stranger in your own skin. Dax nodded slowly. Do it. Mother Shay chanted words in a language that echoed in the walls. The crystal floated toward Dax and glowed brighter, then flash. Dax stumbled back, breathing hard. The crystal dimmed. "It's done," Mother Shea said, wiping a tear from her eye. Dax blinked and looked at Lyra. "Who are you?" Lyra's face paled. "It's starting." Outside, alarms blared through the tunnels. "Council guards," Shea said quickly. "They know you're here." "Then we run," Lyra said, grabbing Dax's arm. He followed, confused. But something in him trusted her. Even without his memories, something inside still remembered her face. And something inside her was changing too. She no longer saw a human, she saw him. The underground walls shook as the guards stormed the upper levels. Their boots thundered, echoing like drums of war. Lyra pulled Dax by the hand. "This way. We need to get to the old vent tunnels. No cameras, no patrols." Dax followed without question. His mind was cloudy, but something told him to trust her. They passed narrow passages and old tech panels covered in dust. Strange blue vines crept through the walls, reminders that this place had once been alive with Zarian power. Behind them, voices shouted in a strange tongue. "They're getting closer," Lyra said, breathless. Suddenly, a panel ahead hissed, open. A tall female soldier stood in their way, silver armor, sharp eyes, and a weapon raised. Lyra gasped. "Commander Threx." The woman's cold eyes studied them. "You disobeyed the council, child." "I had no choice," Lyra said. "He saved me. I owe him." Threx narrowed her eyes at Dax. "He's a human." "I know," Lyra replied, "but he's not like the others." Dax stepped forward, calm despite the tension. "If you're going to stop us, then do it now." Something in his voice made the commander hesitate. "You've lost your memory," she said, "and yet you still protect her?" "I don't remember who I am," Dax said, "but I know I'd never let her die." There was a long silence. Then, slowly, Threx lowered her weapon. "Go," she whispered, "before I change my mind." Lyra's eyes widened. "Why?" Threx looked away. "Because I was once like her." The tunnel ahead opened, glowing with faint blue light. They ran, but danger was far from over. Something was waiting at the other end, and this time, it wasn't just soldiers. It was a secret buried in the planet itself. The tunnel's glow faded as Dax and Lyra moved deeper into the forgotten underground. The air grew colder. The walls, once smooth, became jagged and covered in ancient carvings. Lyra's pace slowed. She touched the symbols. These are Zarian. From before the war. Dax looked around. "You've been here before?" She shook her head. "No. These tunnels were sealed generations ago. My people believe they lead to the heart of the planet." "Sounds comforting," Dax muttered. As they moved forward, a strange hum filled the air, low and deep, like the planet itself was breathing. Then, they entered a massive chamber. A circular hall stretched ahead with a strange machine in the center. It hovered, glowing softly in green and silver. It wasn't made by humans, or by Zarians. "What is that?" Dax whispered. "I don't know," Lyra said, stepping closer. "But it's alive." Suddenly the air trembled. A voice, soft and ancient, echoed in their minds. "You have awakened me, human and hybrid." "Why?" Dax backed up. "Is that thing talking?" The machine pulsed. "This world has secrets. You are the key, the one who remembers nothing, and the girl who dares to trust the enemy." Lyra grabbed Dax's hand. "What do you want from us?" "You must choose. Open the memory buried in him, or destroy the truth forever." The chamber dimmed. A panel opened in the floor, revealing a glowing pod. Inside was another human, frozen. Dax's eyes widened. That's me." Lyra stared at him in shock. Then who was the Dax beside her, and what had they truly awakened? Lyra stood frozen, eyes locked on the glowing pod. Inside it was another Dax. Same face, Same scar on the eyebrow. Same dog tag around the neck. But that Dax wasn't moving. Her gaze shifted to the Dax beside her, the one she had fought with, escaped with, trusted. "Who are you?" she whispered, voice shaking. The Dax beside her stepped back. I don't know." The ancient machine pulsed again. "One of you is the original. The other was created." Dax gripped his head. "I've had dreams, memories that don't feel like mine. People calling me names I don't know, places I've never seen." Lyra stepped closer to him. "But you saved me. You helped me. That has to mean something." The machine's voice echoed again. "The one before you was created to complete a mission, reach me, awaken the truth, and make a choice." Dax's eyes flickered with pain. "So I'm not even real?" Lyra reached for his hand. "You feel real to me." Then the pod began to open. Steam hissed, and the real Dax, if he was real, slowly opened his eyes. He looked straight at the other Dax. "You're me." They stared at each other. The machine spoke again. "Only one can leave. The other must stay to protect what lies here. Decide, will it be the one who remembers, or the one who feels?" Lyra looked between them, heart pounding. And then, the alarms went off. Something else had entered the chamber, something that didn't want them to choose at all. The alarms screamed, and the metal floor shook. The pod housing the original Dax slid fully open. The man inside, calm, strong, but strangely cold, stepped out and looked around. His eyes locked onto the other Dax and Lyra. Then a new sound echoed, the pounding of heavy boots. Through the broken hallway, a squad of armored figures marched in. Not human, not alien. Something else. Their armor was dark, smooth like liquid metal. Their eyes glowed red. Lyra grabbed the Dax she had come to trust. "Run!" But the original Dax didn't flinch. He raised a hand toward the soldiers and said, "Stand down." The soldiers stopped. "What?" Lyra gasped. The machine's voice came again. The original was a commander, a guardian of the vault, but time erased his memory, until now. Original Dax turned slowly toward the Dax beside Lyra. "You were created from my compassion, my hesitation, the part of me that doubted the mission." The Dax with Lyra clenched his fists. "Then I'm the part of you that learned how to feel." Lyra looked between them. "There's no choice here, there's only truth." Suddenly the ceiling cracked. A giant alien creature dropped through, spiked, howling, wild. The soldiers fired. Chaos exploded. Lyra pulled Dax behind cover. "This isn't just about who stays anymore. It's about who survives." As the monster tore through metal, Dax shouted, "We end this together, all of us, but only one would walk away." The beast roared again, louder than before. Its arms slammed through the walls, sending sparks flying. The alien soldiers fired their weapons, but the creature was too fast. It moved like living shadow and fire. Lyra grabbed a pipe, barely shielding herself as debris fell. She shouted, "We need to stop it now." Dax, the one she trusted, turned to the original version of himself. "You created this place. How do we shut it down?" Original Dax's eyes flickered. "The vault is alive. It reacts to thoughts, emotion, conflict." "Then make it listen," Lyra screamed. The original Dax stepped forward, calm. "It only listens to purpose. And I know mine now." Before anyone could stop him, he walked directly toward the monster. The creature charged, but instead of attacking, it stopped, sniffed, tilted its head. It looked into the original Dax's eyes. Memory core access initiated. The machine's voice echoed again. Emotion detected. Purpose restored. The beast blinked. Then it knelt. The soldiers lowered their weapons. Everyone froze. Even the lights in the room softened. Original Dax turned to Lyra and the other Dax. I remember now. I wasn't just built to guard. I was built to choose who's worthy of this knowledge. He looked at Lyra. You passed. Suddenly, the walls of the vault shifted, panels sliding, lights forming paths. A hidden door opened behind them. Inside, a library of alien and human data. Glowing. Waiting. Lyra whispered, "What is this place?" Dax smiled softly. The truth. And for the first time, she didn't run. The alien girl, Arila, had stopped running. After days of hiding in the ruined temple city, surrounded by the whispering winds of her ancestors, she had finally realized something. She wasn't afraid of the human because he was dangerous. She was afraid because he wasn't. He hadn't chased her. He hadn't forced her to speak. Instead, he had waited, each day leaving small supplies of food near the temple's edge. Not just survival rations, but carefully chosen things she liked. Sweet fruit, warm fiber cloths, even a rare glowing stone from her homeworld. And now, as she stood before him in the setting twin suns, her hands trembling, she saw no weapon. No armor. Just a quiet, tired human, with a medical scanner in one hand and her people's ancient symbol of trust carved in the other. Why? She whispered, voice catching in her throat. Why did you... Wait. The human doctor knelt down, showing her the scan he had taken, revealing the truth. A dangerous parasite had infected her neural pathways. That's why she'd panicked. Why her people had thought she was cursed. You weren't sick in spirit, he said softly. You were poisoned. And now? We can fix it. Arila's eyes widened as her legs gave out beneath her. She didn't fall. He caught her, and as her mind cleared for the first time in years, her first real tears fell. Not of fear, but of relief. She had fled from the one who would save her, and he had never stopped trying.